how do we start creating an organization that is adaptive, can handle change at a very fast rate, that is strengths-based? Where do we start?
Okay, so where we go in with two of us would go in is understanding what the purpose and the meaning is of the organization and how they can, if they're clear on their values. Then we're doing a survey within the organization is how clear is that to the employees? How is it aligned to their own values? Do the employees know what their own values are? How is working in that environment going to support them achieving their highest values?
Yeah.
Then understanding where the issues are, the conflict, what the real issues are there, understanding what roles need to be played, ensuring that the right people are in the right roles. But there's actually a nice diagram that I would like to share with you that we can talk around that. There's so many things, but it needs to be top-down driven so that we have total clarity in the organization as a whole, understands what is currently the situation, what is the purpose and the meaning, what are the values that are currently in place, and each one, how are they adding to the completion of that purpose of the organization, and ensuring that the strengths of each individual in each team, and changing it so that the maximum is achieved out of each team and then individual at the same time. Yeah. So you're looking at different, the graph that we have there is looking at the peoples that have got the strength fit but not the values.
Yeah.
We're looking at the people where there is no fit at all. So those are the ones. I don't believe that I still believe that there is still a possibility.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that there's a genius, or I know there's a genius in everybody. It's just maybe not so clear to see all the time. So the perfect fit ones, those are the easy ones. The value fit and not strengths, it's also very easy because all it is just flipping the models. You know, the job descriptions, the roles and responsibilities. And often you can just let that team or that unit figure it out for themselves. It doesn't need to be driven by the organization because there's a natural understanding on how each one of us can add the most value in an organization.
So it's interesting because in my experience, I totally agree that a team can be self-managing and can come up with their own solutions to the problems that they're experiencing on the ground. I guess there's this underlying, in most organizations, there's this underlying reliance on hierarchy or waiting for the manager to make a decision.
Yes.
You know, despite the team potentially having the answers. So I quite like what you were saying about, you know, in order to potentially move away from that, it's this concept of how do we move away from silos, where you've got sales, marketing, and operations all acting sort of independently of each other and quite often against each other. So they're all looking after their own team interests, but it's
a win-lose.
It's a win-lose relationship as opposed to what you're suggesting, which is more of a self-managing model, which, you know, you'll have you'll have a salesperson, a marketing person, an operations person, all in one team, and collectively they'll be achieving a goal, which means by virtue of that they're all on the same team, and they're also collaborating at the level of where the problems are at. Is that what you mean?
Yes, absolutely. I'm just thinking of an example. It's quite an extreme example. In the Netherlands, they've how they're doing. So they've got you've got all the frail case centers. So they've got a lot of old people living in apartments. And then they have the government then sends people in, you know, one nurse that's going to look specifically after people with cardiac problems. So the way it's been structured in the past hasn't, you know, it's at a central point. People are sent to the various areas to with their speciality. So what they've done there is they've created self-managing teams. So they created like blocks. So many blocks of streets and number of people, and they identify what are the needs within that the number of people that are living in that area, and they then attract the people that they say, well, in this area we need this type of nurse, we need this type of doctor, we need.
Okay.
And as the population changes, they automatically, it's not from centralized government. It's done from that self-managing team that says, okay, well, the dynamics have changed, we need a different type of person, and they decide who. So even from a salary point of view, everything is decided at that team
level.
So that requires an environment where trust is implicit, which is a given for this type of organization, and this is a difficult part. But it is possible. It is absolutely possible if you're allowing, and there's that trust, and you know that you've got the right people in fulfilling the right roles. But this is the exciting part, because this is the only way